All right, this is our review for our quiz today, and this is the Quizizz from last week that you completed to practice. Some of these problems were tricky. I'm sorry to throw some curveballs at you. There was even one that you needed to use Pythagorean theorem to find a missing side of a cone. So craziness. I hope it didn't make you think, oh, I don't get any of this. Oh, why would a teacher do this and throw this hard one in here? But some of you figured it out, and that's super impressive. Otherwise, on the quiz, there's just going to be the simple ones, so no need to worry. I might figure out a way to get an extra credit one in there with the Pythagorean theorem, but it's not looking good since I'm making this video so late. All right, let's get after it. Number one, we're finding the surface area of a cylinder, so we're going to write that formula down. We can look on our reference sheet. That formula is 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared. We have the lateral surface area, that's the curved surface, right? And then we have this part, which is both bases. And when we add those up, we get our total surface area. So let's plug in everything. I'm just going to use the pi button, and the radius is 9, the height is 14. I'm going to add to it 2 times pi times 9 squared. And now I'm going to quickly type that all in. 2 pi, clear, 2 pi times the radius is 9 times the height of 14 plus 2 times pi times the radius squared, which is going to be 9 times 9. That gives me about 1,300. And that is why the answer is 1,300, okay? So it gives me approximately 1,300, and that'd be inches squared. Excuse me. All right, next one. Okay, got to read carefully. Lateral surface area, not the whole surface area. So in our formula, we only need that part. So we're just going to be lateral surface area is going to be 2 pi r h. And in this case, we got to cut that in half because the radius is 10. So let's go 2 times pi times 10 times 13. And let's calculate that. Clear. 2 times pi times 10 times 13, and that gives us 816, about approximately 816. And ooh, nice, we got that answer right there. All right, next one, cruising. All right, this says find the surface area, so we're not finding the lateral surface area this time. We need the whole formula. So surface area equals 2 pi r h plus 2 pi r squared. Rock and roll, let's go. We'll use the pi button. We'll use the radius of 3 times 7 plus 2 times pi times 3 times 3. All right, let's type it in. Clear it out. 2 pi times 3 times 7 plus 2 pi times 3 times 3. Make sure I have all the numbers right there. Yes. Oopsie. I didn't get my answer. 188 about. And my answer is about 188. Okay, so because my approximations are coming to, close but not quite, it's all right because it's multiple choice, and your quiz will be multiple choice. And this Quizizz doesn't exactly tell you which approximation for pi to use, so it's okay to go with the pi button since it doesn't tell us, but it looks like that each problem used a different approximation. So it's okay. We're getting close enough, and that's fine for now. All right, what are we doing? Oh, we're finding the lateral surface area of the prism. This is a typo. That is not a prism. That is a cylinder. All right, let's go for this cylinder here. It is just the lateral surface area again. So lateral surface area is just that 2 pi r h. And they try to trick you here. I'm sure you weren't tricked. I might have been tricked when I was your age, though. We want the radius, which would be 4. So that's 4 n times the height of 10. So now we're going to multiply these all up. I'm going to go with this times this times this is 80. So I'm just going to remember that and do 80 pi. So 80 pi equals 251 about. And we have an answer of 251. Great. Square inches. All right, moving on. Make sure we're reading carefully. Campbell's Soup is creating a new label. It can have a height of 6 inches, diameter of 4 inches. And how much material does Campbell need for each soup label? That's assuming the soup label covers the whole lateral area there. So there's another lateral surface area, and that's going to be 2 pi r h. And we have the diameter is 4, so that means my radius is 2, and my height is going to be 6. All right. Oops. So let's go. I'm going to type in, let's see, 2 times 4 times 6 is 24. So I'm going to do 24 pi. 24 times pi equals about 75. And that gets my answer right there, about 75. All right, we are really moving here. Now we're on to cones. Find the surface area of a cone. So now what's our formula for a cone? Great question, right? So let's look that up. All right, cone. Surface area of a cone equals, I'm just looking off the review sheet or the reference sheet that you guys have. Surface area of a cone is pi RL plus pi r squared. Now this, something missing here. I have my pi. I'm going to use that. I got my radius, which is 5. I do not have my slant height. That's this guy here. How are we going to find that? Well, we have a special shape, and we have the right information to use a special theorem. Anybody? Pythagorean theorem. That's right. That's C because it's across from this right angle. So when we do a squared plus b squared equals c squared, we can throw in the 12 and the 15 and the 5 as our legs, a and b. 12 squared plus 5 squared equals c squared. Now I know that this is a special set of numbers called a Pythagorean triple, but you guys probably don't know that, so I'm just going to do the work for you. All right, and that gets me c squared. I get 169 equals c squared. If I square root both sides, inverse operation, I isolate c and get 13. So that missing slant height is not missing anymore. I know it's going to be 13, and now I can plug it in here, add, I get pi times the radius squared, so that's going to be 5 squared, and I can type all of this in now on my calculator. Let's go. So we got pi, clear, pi times 5 times 13, and then we need pi, oops, we're going to add to that pi times 5 times 5. That's 282. 282. Oh, it's in terms of pi. Okay. All right. So let's go back. This here simplifies down to 25 pi. And this simplifies down to 65 pi. Sorry, 65 pi. And then if I add those up, I get 90 pi. It's like, this is like terms here. All right. You just keep the factor they have in common, and you add the coefficient. So that becomes 90 pi, and there it is, 90 pi. Now, I guess you could have also gotten that answer we got on the calculator and then just calculated each of these out on your calculator as well. Like, do 65 times pi and see if it matches what we got on your calculator. Then do 60 times pi and see if that matches what we got on your calculator. Then do 130 times pi, you know. But none of those would work. Only this one would come to an equivalent answer. All right. Number 7. You could have had a little trouble here because a party hat doesn't have that circular base there, right? It's open there, so we don't want to count that. So if we look up at our equation, we don't want that part. We just want this part. So the pi RL part is all we need. So we need to find the lateral surface area for this cone, and that's going to be pi RL. Excuse me. And let's see if we have all the information. It has a slant height of 6. That's right there. Slant height of 6 and a height of 5 inches. How many square feet of cardboard should be needed to create this hat? All right. That stinks. Okay, so we have this guy here is 6. It's got a slant height. Then it has a height right down to the center there of 5. So, So that means, does that mean we got to find this? Oh man, it's gonna take us so long. That's a bummer. Okay, well, all right, let's at least try it and see if that's what they want us to do. Okay, so now there's my right angle. I have a right triangle. I have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. That means c is 6 because it's the hypotenuse. It's across from the right angle there. I'm going to put in 5 for one of the legs. So I'll put in for a. So that's 25 plus b squared equals 36. We're going to subtract the 25. B squared equals 11. And so now I got a square root 11. Let's go square root. Oops. Clear it out. Square root 11. And that comes to about 3.3. So b equals 3.3, which is this down here, 3.3. So now we have pi times 3.3 times 6. And, so pi times, let's clear it out, pi times 3.3 times 6 gets me about 62. And wow, it actually worked. Okay, so that's another challenge problem. Wow. I'm going to apologize actually for putting that on there. That was a tricky one. Here, now we have a regular, simple cone surface area problem. This is what we're talking about right here. Cone surface area. This is what's on your quiz. And let's get to it. Find the surface area of the cone. So we got surface area equals pi RL plus pi R squared, and pi times 2 squared. Whoops. Okay. I meant to put the L there. So that's going to be times 2 times 6 plus pi times 2 squared. All right. Pi times 2 times 6. There's my lateral surface area, and I'm going to add to it the area of the base, which is pi times 2 times 2. That gives me about 50. And it's in terms of pi again. Fabulous. Actually, it's easier. I don't need a calculator. So this all simplifies down to 12 pi, and I'm going to add to that. This simplifies down to 4 pi. Combine my like terms. That gives me 16 pi. Moving on. All right, what is lateral surface area? The total area of just non-base surfaces. That's the one. Lateral surface area is non-bases. Don't count the bases. Just find the area of all the other faces that aren't bases. Okay, last problem. Whew, it's been a while. It's been a long one. Okay, this is pretty simple, and this is very similar to ones that are going to be on your quiz. All right, let's zoom it in a little bit so we can see this. Find the surface area of this cone. Well, we know surface area of a cone is pi RL plus pi R squared. And careful, the radius is 3, not 6. So we're going to go pi times 3 times 8 and pi times 3 squared. Now, I apologize if you hear some explosions in the background. My wife is watching an action film and without me. I mean, how rude. No, she worked hard today. So she deserves some relaxation. I get to do this. I mean, this is better than watching TV. All right. Anyway, here we go. So pi times 3 times 8. Pi times 3 times 8 plus pi times 3 times 3. And our answer, about 103. Let's see, how are we doing? About 103. There we go. Yeah. All right, so that's it. That's our review. I hope those challenge problems did not discourage you too much, and I hope that you're on the ball with the simpler ones where you're just plugging into a formula. All right, good luck on the quiz, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.